I'm John Bailey, and tonight I made curried pork chops with veggies done as a stir fry in a curried gravy made from the pork chop drippings, which is very difficult to say, and brown basmati rice. And then I mixed the veggies into the rice after the rice was ready. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is marinate my 2 pork chops. So I'm just going to pour the soy sauce in, add some garlic powder, seal it up again, and shake it around so it's all coated. Yeah, I'm just going to let these sit for a good half hour before I heat them again, and by that point they'll be nice and tender. Okay, the next thing I'm going to do is get my brown basmati rice ready. I like to put the cup in the pot while I'm pouring the rice into the cup. That way if I miss the cup, the rice still ends up in the pot. Okay, 1 cup of brown basmati means 2 cups of water. So I like to throw in a packet of reduced sodium chicken stock. It doesn't actually stir all the way in, but it does break the pieces of the chicken stock up more. I like to put down a layer of aluminum foil for the pork chops to cook on in the oven. And then just to make sure my pork chops don't stick, put a light coating of canola oil on the foil. Leave the pot lid off for now from the pot and turn it up to 7. Some steam is starting to come off the rice now. So the lid goes on, dial goes down to minimum, and the timer goes on to 43 minutes. I like making the gravy, the curried gravy. I like the way that comes together. I think the moment that I enjoy the most is when you've got all the brown drippings left in the pan and you throw in those onions. And the onions smell so good when they start to fry. So this is my favorite frying pan. I really understand how it takes the heat, and for that reason I've held on to it even all these years after the handle fell off. It means I have to handle it with a oven mitt, but that's okay. I like this pan. First I take basic curry powder, which is mostly turmeric. I like to kick up the flavor a little beyond that though. So I pour that, follow that up with some ground ginger, and some paprika, a little bit of cumin, and put in a little cayenne pepper, not too much. Some lemon pepper, because lemon pepper is my secret ingredient. I use it in everything. And just a hint of allspice. I mix that all together in the oil, the hot oil. And now we're ready to put on our first pork chop. Grab my handy tongs and haul the first one out. They're big, fat pork chops, so you have to be real careful. I'm going to brown this 2 minutes aside. Now we'll give this one a flip. Now I don't want the curry that's left in the pan to get too burnt, too charred. So I'm just going to turn the heat down a little bit more, because we're going to be doing more with that later. Now this goes on the foil, and we're ready to put it in the oven. Whenever you cook something and apply heat to it, you lose some flavor from it. But there are tricks you can do to rescue some of that flavor. And they'll cook in there for 35 minutes. In this case, I'm going to take the rest of the curry, cook my onions and celery in it. You can see they're already looking delicious with that on them. Now I'm going to make a bit of a gravy out of what's there. First to put in a little flour as a thickening agent. There you can see already the flour's disappeared, coating the bits of onion and celery quite nicely. Usually you use a stock to make a good gravy, but white wine works well too. I don't measure ingredients like wine too carefully. I just put in what feels right. And now I'm going to mix all that together nicely. And when I'm happy with that, I'm going to start adding my other vegetables. Get those nicely coated. And now the red pepper. We'll leave these to simmer until they're nice and soft. And you can see that's cooked up very nicely. And there we have a nice bowl of rice. All the gravy is absorbed nicely into the vegetables. And you stir it up nicely. And out comes our beautiful pork chops. Whoa, that's hot. Oh, they look good. And we'll cover them up for 10 minutes to let the juices recirculate within the pork chop and the meat becomes even more tender. And then you've got a really nice, essentially 2-dish meal, even though there's 3 major components to it. And that's when you know you've got a good dish, because if it smells that good, it almost doesn't matter what it tastes like.